welcome back to another video. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing really well. I am actually doing pretty good. I don't know what day in quarantine I'm in anymore, but I'm definitely in very good spirits. I hope you guys are doing what you should be doing to staying healthy and clean. I am doing my part as much as I can, and so far so good. But anyway, so by the looks of the title, you guys can see what we're going to be talking about today. And it's talking about my high school experience, my senior year high school experience. And the reason I want to talk about this today is because, so it's been in the headlines on Twitter, on Snapchat, I mean, any social media, anything you can name. They've been talking about how, unfortunately, some seniors for this 2020 year have had their prom canceled because of the corona, have had their their graduations either postponed or canceled. I mean, it's been a big spiel for these 2020 seniors, and I just want to put this out there for these seniors. I just want to let you guys know there is going to be the light. There is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like you guys deserve it. You guys have gone through all 12 years of schooling, and that's the least that we could do. Okay, so by the title that you guys see on the video, like I said, we are going to be talking about my senior experience. And I feel like it's only right just because I feel like what I went through is, it was meant to happen so that way I could talk about it and be, I don't want to say a survivor from it, but I want to say I feel like my experience is there to help other seniors, if that makes any sense. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into that video, okay? Well, my high school experience was definitely out of the ordinary. It's not your typical senior experience for sure. So at the end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year, my mom found a better place for us to live, so we ended up moving. But beforehand, I had already been going to 2 different schools because I was attending basically the career academy, but at a different school because they didn't have that career that I was taking at the same building as the other careers. I don't know if your school ever did it, but when I was in high school, my sophomore year, you can fill out an application to like take a career course where you were earning hours, college credit hours, towards a certain career. It could be dental hygiene, it could have been early childhood education, it could have been automotive, it could have been IMD, which is, I think it was like some sort of media, nursing. I mean, you name it, there's a whole bunch of them. So I took early childhood education, so I was already going to a different high school all day and then coming back in the afternoon to get home because it was at a completely like different side of town. And but then when I moved, I ended up going full time and getting taken home by a bus there. So I was like, that was my full-time school. Like I was there all the time till the end of the day, as opposed to the other school. When I was going to the other school, I actually had to go home, be on my way home around the last period of the day. So in our senior year also, I don't know about you guys, but in where I live at, there are these standardized graduation tests that you have to take and score at least a 400 in all 5 subjects, which was math, science, writing, reading, and social studies. Fortunately for me, I passed 3 out of the 5 social studies, writing, and reading all in the first try. I believe I had like 400, right in the midst of the cutoff points. So I passed those. So for the last 2 years of high school, I really struggled with science and math. They give us multiple tries. junior, in your, I think your senior you only get one try, but in your junior year you get like a 2 or 3 more tries. And if you don't pass them, you got to your senior year that one time to pass them. And if you don't pass it, even though you can pass all your classes, but if you don't pass the standardized testing, you are not to cross the stage with your class. So it was essential. It was important that you passed it. And now that I think about it, honestly, in my opinion, this is why I say tests are not meant for students. I don't think tests should determine if you graduate or not. I feel like if, as long as you're passing your classes, you're doing what you're supposed to do all year round, then you should have no doubt but pass and graduate with your class. But anyway, so I'm just going to try to keep this as condensed as possible. I've tried recording this video 3 times and I keep maxing out on the time that I want to do this. So anyway, so my senior year, I had a lot of regrets because so I went to take these testing, I think the last time my junior year, and I didn't take it as serious, but I was serious at the same time because I could have never pictured myself not graduating. Like I told myself, I'm like, there is no way that these tests are going to hold me back. I just knew I would pass them. There was no doubt in my mind that I would. And so when it came to my last time taking my test on my junior year, I actually had been going to one-on-one with a teacher, practicing OGTs, practice OGTs, previous questions that were on a test, so that way when it came to the legitimate test, I knew what I was working with, and I already had hands-on work with what the test is going to look like. Even though I've been taking it so many times, so you would think I already would be familiar with it and have studied it, but extra studies were needed apparently because I wasn't passing it. So it came to my 3rd time and I took the test, and I had already been doing those practices, and I felt like I was doing pretty good. I felt like I was acing it. And then it came to the legit test, and when I take tests, I don't know about you guys, I tend to shut down. I freak, I forget everything that I learned, and that is that. Like I could do all your assignments, I can turn in all the classwork, but when it comes to quizzes, pop quizzes, tests, I always seem to do really bad. But anyway, so I took it, and we weren't going to get our results till, I want to see, I don't know, it was like weeks later until we found out. I remember just thinking, I was like, oh my God, I really hope I pass, because I'm like, I don't want to have to worry about this my senior year. And so it came to getting my results, and I didn't pass them the 3rd time. I didn't pass them. So I was just, now at this point, I'm like really freaking out. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I need to pass them. I was like, because comes next year, I can pass all my classes, but if I don't pass these tests, I'm not going to graduate with my class, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm worried. So it comes to my senior year, and we went to take them. And I had got some good sleep, and I went to take them, and that was that. They gave us two and a half hours to finish the test, I believe. And I used all 2.5 hours. I went back and made sure I answered everything. Like everything was up to par, at least what I thought, right? Now, fast forward, we weren't going to find out about our OGT scores until maybe a month or 2 before graduation. And I was starting to freak out because I'm like, okay, on top of that, I have to make sure all my classes, I'm passing them, all the exams, and then on top of that, having to worry about these standardized testing. So I was freaking out. Now, they finally got the test scores back, and I was in the lunchroom. Yes, I was in the lunchroom when they said they were going to start calling seniors alphabetical order throughout that week. And I start with the letter C, so I'm like not too far from finding out soon. And so I was in the lunchroom when they called me, and they said that they needed to see me, and I already knew it was because of the standardized testing. And so I had went in there, and the guidance office. Sorry. So from the from the cafeteria, I had to walk to the guidance office when they called me. So I had walked my way to the guidance office, and it is a long way to get there. So the entire time as I'm getting to the guidance office, I'm praying and thinking to myself, I'm like, I hope I pass. I really hope I pass, because at this point it would be a relief for me. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. And so it came to going into the guidance office, and then after that, my guidance counselor was there. So he took me in, and he sat me down, and he had a poker face, so I couldn't tell if he was happy or sad for me. Like, I couldn't tell. I was like trying to read him off, but I couldn't. And so he just told me, he was like, so you have to score a 400 to pass these tests. And I'm like, yes, I know. He was like, and you know that these are important in order for you to cross that stage. I'm like, yes, I know. So I'm like over here, I'm like, oh my God, can you hurry up and tell me? And he was like, all right, well, here is your scores. And oh my gosh, I scored a 399 on my math, and I scored a 387, something around that range, on science. And all I could feel in my head is I felt numb from the head down. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, I'm not going to be able to cross that stage. I'm like, oh my God. So he told me, he was like, so as you can see, you didn't score a 400 for neither one of these, so you will not be able to cross that stage. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. He was like, so do you want to take summer courses to where you can graduate in the fall? He's like, you can take them again in the fall. And I just shook my head. I just kept shaking my head the entire time, and I signed off what I needed to sign off so that they knew that I wanted to do it in the summer, and I left. And I remember bawling my eyes out on my way out, bawling my eyes out to the bathroom, because I headed to the bathroom right after that. After that, I freshened up because my friends were waiting for me in the cafeteria with the news. So I went to the cafeteria. And mind you, before I had left, they had told me, like, you passed, like, don't worry about it. They were cheering me on, and they asked me, they're like, so how did you do? I gave them the paper, and I bawled out again. I bawled. I couldn't help it. I was such an emotional mess. I remember telling my mom and my brother, and my brother didn't believe me. My mom just told me, he's like, well, you just gotta do what you gotta do. And I remember going upstairs that night to my room, and I was just crying, letting it all out. I was just so emotional. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to do anything anymore for my senior year. Because mind you, there was still like a month or two till graduation. So fast forward, sorry guys, I'm like saying fast forward so I can keep this going. So then it came to graduation in May. I actually did finish. I did ended up passing all my classes, all my exams for my classes. But the only reason I wasn't able to cross the stage was because I didn't pass with a 400 on the standardized testing. And what really irritated me is that I wasn't so far off, especially for one of them, 1 point off. And then I had to retake both of them in the summer. Oh man, I was livid. I was livid because, I mean, that was so close. They couldn't just give me 1 point. Like, it was really that petty. Anyway, so fast forward, it came to May. My brother's graduation came about. He had gave my best friend at the time, but now my boyfriend, a ticket. He gave me one, my mom, my auntie, and my dad one. So he had all 5 of us go. And it was really hard for me because, like I said, it was the class that I wanted to graduate with. And on top of that, it was the school that I wanted to graduate from. So, but I kept my face up. I kept my glam on, and I went to his graduation. And my boyfriend, my best friend, my boyfriend now, said he told me, he was like, I was very strong for going, and because he was like, it doesn't just take anybody just to go, and I feel like he was right. Definitely, I feel very proud of myself. I'm glad that I went. I'm glad I got to see that, to experience that, just as the audience. So yeah. But anyway, so fast forward now to the fall. We are looking at, I think, sometime after the 4th of July, we started doing those OGT preps out of school, and I was going there from 8 to 2, 8 to 4. I can't remember. But it was basically a school day. I was there for both my math OGT and my science OGT. My science OGT, when it came to that, I don't feel like I learned anything. All the teacher made us do throughout the time I was there for a whole month and some change. All we did every day was definitions. He would put up a PowerPoint and make us copy the definitions on notebook paper. Definitely that was it. And so I was like, man, I'm not about to pass. I'm like, I thought I was gonna graduate till I'm 20, because I was already 18 in my senior year. So after 18, I think I was in my mind, I thought that they don't give you that many chances to take it again because you're an adult already, and you're already out of school, so it would just be a GED after that, and I definitely didn't want to do that. So so it was just so many emotions going through that. And so I didn't feel like science was working. And now with math, I felt very confident, because with math, we were actually going with an OGT old test, and we took questions out of that, and we worked on it one by one, and how we got the answers and step by step, and yada yada yada. Now that, I felt like it was very productive. Every day we were learning. I felt like I was gaining some knowledge. I felt good about it eventually. So fast forward to the day of the testing. We took the test, and it was bright and early, and I remember taking them, and it was funny because when I took my math one, I swear, they say they reuse questions from previous tests to the test that you're taking. And I believe that. Somehow I feel like they knew a little too much, because the questions that they gave me in my math OGT, the legitimate one, were the same, almost the same exact ones as the practice ones we were doing all week. So I was just like, oh my God, this is easy. I already know the answers. I already know how to do it, because I remember doing it throughout the week. So the math one, I felt very confident. The science one was kind of skeptical, because like I said, all we were doing were definitions. And I'm like, I'm not learning anything. I'm like, well, I don't know. So I didn't feel so hot for the science, but for math, I was like, I legit knew I was going to pass. And plus, the last time I was only 1 point away. So I'm like, I already know what I'm doing now. So I'm guaranteed to pass. So anyway, so that happened. So then after that, we were off for a while, and we were waiting for our results, because now graduation was on August 14th, and we were going to find out in the beginning, or in the 2 weeks before our August 14th. So I remember being, I think, at Sam's Club. I think I remember being at Sam's Club when I had got either an email or they called me. I can't remember. Sorry, guys. I've been sneezing all day. Whew. Anyway, so I remember getting the call that I passed, and I was so excited. I was so geeked. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be graduating in August. It might not be May, but it was definitely August, and I was definitely going to graduate. I was definitely going to have a ceremony. I was very, very excited. And so it came to my graduation, and mind you, at this time, I still didn't know that I wasn't going to graduate with my class. I had a cap and gown from the previous high school that I went to, but not the one that I was going to graduate from. And I had looked at the principals there, and they told me, they told me that I was going to graduate from here. Like, I talked to them while they were there because the principals were there, the school district people were there. I mean, there was a whole lot of important people there. But they told me, they're like, but your diploma says something else. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, they're like, well, we'll still present you with the Westland class. I'm like, okay. So I came to my ceremony, and this is where it gets interesting. So unfortunately, the day of my ceremony, I didn't have many people show up for mine. For one, it was kind of like a secret that I didn't graduate on time. I didn't want anybody to know because I felt at the time that I didn't graduate with my class. I felt like a failure, you know, and it took me a very long time to recognize that I still graduated with my class. It might have not been in May, but it was still in the same year, just a little farther along. And like I said, for the longest time, I kept that a secret, so that's why I didn't invite so many people to my graduation. And so really who was there was my boyfriend, my mom, one of my girlfriends, B, and my teacher for a program that I was in. And I was an assistant teacher for a district. She came, and her husband, and then B's mom. And shout out to B's mom. She's the one who took most of my graduation pictures that I'm going to show you now. Shout out to her because, like, my mom isn't photogenic. She doesn't take pictures. She doesn't know how to work a cell phone camera. And my boyfriend was with my mom just to make sure she knew what was going on and stuff like that. So shout out to her. She took really good pictures for me. Now, my boyfriend, on the other hand, this is how my graduation went in a nutshell. Alright, you guys. So this is the bestest video you are going to get of my graduation.
Chaz, Eli Daniel. Oh, this camera sucks. It sucks bad.
I see that. Oh my god. I told him I wanted him to record when my name was called and when I was going down the stage. Did he do that? No. No, he didn't. So anyway, so that was my graduation in a nutshell. I felt very proud of myself when I walked down that stage. Unfortunately, my twin brother didn't make it because he was too tired from work. So he didn't go to my graduation. My dad arrived late. I believe I was already down the stage with my diploma by the time he came. Like, I heard he probably came when they made our tassel move the other way. Yeah, so my dad was late. So anyway, so that was that. And after that, we went to Frazzoli's, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. And let me tell you, so basically why I made this video, not really just to bash about my graduation and bash about how good it was to me at the end, but to be honest, I made very selfish decisions because of this point system on the test. I didn't go to any of my senior breakfasts. I didn't go to any of my senior pictures. Or excuse me, I didn't take any senior pictures. I didn't get no senior banner. I didn't I missed senior, like I said, I didn't do any of my senior breakfasts. I did go, but I ended up going late and I didn't care. The most important thing, and I can honestly say that's why I would hate for seniors this 2020 year to go through, are the ones that are missing prom, because I regret not going to prom now. Like, years along the line, I wish I would have went. I wish I would have just experienced my senior year to its fullest capacity like how any other senior would have. But I didn't because of those tests. And that's why I say those tests are dumb, because it makes you feel, it made me feel like a failure. It made me feel like I don't know, it just didn't make me feel like a senior because I didn't pass their test, you know? Sorry, guys. So, yeah, so that's one thing I can honestly say with the biggest regret is that I wish I would have took senior year with much more pride, but I didn't. But I am still very happy that I got my diploma. It was so much hassle, but I finally got it, and this is probably one of my biggest achievements, as well as for on seniors had award night, and they were giving out awards one day, and this definitely made my year so much better that year that I actually got early childhood student of the year. I was really excited. So these two things is why I was able to feel some type of motivation that I did do something my senior year, because I got an award in my senior year, and I got my diploma in August, and I honestly couldn't ask for better. So that's what I'm saying. For us seniors now in 2020, we are all in this together. We have this huge nationwide pandemic, but there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that there is something that is going to be done for you guys, and I'm sure if your district that you go to doesn't do anything, I am most definitely sure that your family and friends will arrange something for you guys. Of course, it's never the same. I honestly think my experience, my senior year experience is one of a kind. It's not your typical senior high school story, but it will do. Alright, you guys, so this video has been long enough, and I still want to edit it tonight and put it out there for you guys tonight. So go ahead and give me a like, a comment down below what you guys think about my senior year, or tell me your senior year experience, or tell me what you're going to end up doing for this 2020, for if you are a senior, what you're going to end up doing for your senior experience this year. And don't forget to subscribe, okay, you guys? Have a great day. Bye!